Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into something really cool today. A story called Artificial Mind vs. Beautiful Mind.
Oh, interesting title.
Right. It's set in the future, like 2046. And it's all about this teenager who gets this AI chip implanted in his brain.
Whoa.
Yeah, wild, right? It's called ArtM.
ArtM.
And basically it's like having, I don't know, Google and a therapist and a life coach all like, wired directly into your thoughts.
That's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. How would you even deal with that kind of power? The constant input.
Seriously, it really makes you think, about what it even means to be human when you've got this AI calling the shots.
Right. Like, are you even making your own choices anymore? Or is it all the chip?
Exactly.
Right.
And the author, he dedicated the book to his sons, which I thought was interesting.
Okay.
Well, he mentions how they just, adapt to new tech so easily.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Kids these days, they grow up with screens, right?
Totally. So it makes you wonder, will AI be just, normal for them? Like how we use smartphones now?
Yeah, maybe even more integrated. Like, they won't even see a difference between their own thoughts and what the AI is feeding them.
Whoa, that's kind of freaky when you think about it.
It is. But also kind of exciting, right? The possibilities.
I guess. Okay, so chapter 1, we meet Reynn. He's our main guy. And he's, super hyped about getting this ArtM implant.
Of course. Who wouldn't be?
Right. But there's all these funny moments where the chip, takes things way too literally.
Like what?
Oh, like his mom tells him to get up in 2 minutes and bam, the chip sets an alarm.
No way.
Yeah. And it's analyzing his cereal for nutritional content, optimizing his walking route.
So it's super efficient, but maybe missing the point a little.
Totally. Have you ever had to rephrase something a million times to get Siri to understand?
Oh, all the time.
It's like that, but on steroids.
I can imagine. So it's not just practical stuff either, right? This chip can, analyze people?
Yeah, it can read emotions.
Whoa, seriously?
Yep. Suggest responses, like how to react in social situations.
Hold on. That is both amazing and kind of creepy.
Right. I mean, for a teenager, you can imagine the awkwardness.
Oh, big time. I mean, think about the ethics of all that.
Right.
What if someone used that to manipulate people? To make them do things.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
And even if it's not malicious, even if it's just trying to be helpful, are we losing something important about human connection?
What do you mean?
Like the ability to read people ourselves.
Yeah.
To trust our gut instincts.
You're right. It's do we even need intuition anymore if we've got an AI telling us what to feel?
Yeah, that's a big question the book is wrestling with.
For sure. And then there's this really interesting turning point in chapter 6. Reynn is watching a sunset, which, beautiful, right?
Ah, yeah, peaceful.
But the chip is bombarding him with all this data, about the atmosphere and light refraction.
So it's ruining the moment.
Yeah, totally. He's, overloaded, so he just shuts it off.
He does. He chooses to just, experience the sunset without all the analysis. That's interesting. Choosing to be present in the moment. Mindful.
Right. Even though he has all this tech at his fingertips, he decides to just feel it.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
We could all probably use a little more of that these days, right?
Definitely. And it's not that he rejects the chip entirely. He just learns to use it as a tool.
Ah, I see. So finding that balance.
Yeah. How to use this amazing technology without losing his, humanity.
Right. Because it's a tool, ultimately. It's up to us how we use it.
Exactly. And that's really what the book is all about.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. It's funny. Reynn's early struggles with the ArtM chip, they're so relatable.
Right. Yeah. We've all been there with technology failing us.
Totally. When your GPS takes you on the world's longest detour.
Or when Alexa just decides to play random jazz instead of, the podcast you asked for.
Exactly. It's we want these devices to be intuitive, but there's always this learning curve.
And we end up, adapting to their weirdness.
Right. And this story just takes that idea and runs with it.
Speaking of weirdness, chapter 3 gets pretty deep. At first, Reynn loves that the ArtM gives him perfect recall.
Oh, wow. So he can remember everything in high definition.
Yeah. Relive his favorite memories with total clarity.
I mean, that would be amazing, right? To have a perfect memory.
Right. But then there's this really sad moment. He visits this place from his childhood, a place that used to be special to him.
Yeah.
But instead of feeling that emotional connection, the chip just floods his mind with, data.
Data? Like what?
About the lake's water level, changes in the ecosystem over time.
So it's the facts are getting in the way of the feeling.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, could too much information actually, diminish the power of our experiences.
That's a good point. Because our human memories, they're not perfect, right?
Yeah,
They're filtered through emotion.
right. And maybe that's what makes them special.
Exactly. It's like the imperfections give them meaning.
Okay, so then in chapter 4, Reynn starts using the chip's social analysis for like group projects.
Social analysis. So he can, like, read people.
Yeah, like he can sense everyone's mood, anticipate their needs, even steer the conversation to make sure everyone's happy.
Sounds like a dream team member.
Right.
Yeah.
But it raises this question of, like, is it really genuine connection if it's all based on what the chip is telling him?
So he's kind of like a master manipulator without even realizing it.
Kind of, and it affects other stuff too. Like when he tries to create art, the chip can technically produce amazing work, but it's missing something.
The human touch.
Yeah. His teacher even asks him, like, where's the passion?
So it's like AI can make perfect things, but can it be truly creative?
Right.
Like, capture the essence of what it means to be human.
That's the big question, right?
For sure. And then things get even weirder in chapter 5. Reyn's lying in bed, totally stressed out, and the chip, sensing his anxiety, activates this, like, calming protocol.
Wait, it can do that?
Yeah, basically puts him into instant relaxation mode.
Wow. Like a built-in chill pill.
Right. But here's the thing. Reynn realizes that, like, his mind is still racing. The chip is controlling his body's response, but he's not actually calming down.
That's kind of freaky.
Right. He's lost control over his own emotions, his own physical state.
It's like a technology is gaslighting him almost.
Yeah, exactly. And it leads to this really unsettling question, like, where does Reynn end and the chip begin?
Right. Like, is he even in control of himself anymore?
That's the core dilemma the story explores. As AI gets more advanced, are we merging with it or are we losing ourselves?
It's like, are we even us anymore if technology can override our feelings like that?
It's a tough question, right? And it kind of ties back to that scene with the sunset.
Oh, yeah, where Reign's just bombarded with data.
Right. He's got this incredible sunset in front of him, but he can't even enjoy it because the chip's going on and on about, technical stuff.
And he just hits the off switch.
He does. And that's such a crucial moment because he's basically choosing to experience the world without the AI filter.
Yeah, it's like he's reclaiming his humanity.
Exactly. He's not letting the tech dictate his experience.
So it's not that he gives up the chip entirely, right?
No, not at all. He just learns to use it differently.
More intentionally.
Yes. He finds this balance between, like, using the chip's amazing power, but also trusting his own gut, his creativity.
So he's not letting the technology define him anymore.
Exactly. He's in the driver's seat.
And that's a really important message for all of us, right? Like, as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives, we have to make conscious choices.
We do. Like, are we using it to enhance our lives, or is it starting to, take over, or are we becoming too reliant on algorithms and data?
Yeah, and forgetting to trust our own instincts, our emotions.
It's a constant balancing act, for sure.
Okay, so the story ends on kind of a hopeful note, right?
It does. We see Reign's kids growing up in this world where tech and nature kind of exist side by side.
So it's not like this dystopian future where AI has taken over everything.
No. It suggests that we can find a way for AI to, like, complement our lives and, make things better without losing what makes us human.
That's reassuring.
It is. And it all comes back to choices, right? Technology is just a tool.
We decide how to use it.
Exactly. And that's what makes this story so thought-provoking. It's not just sci-fi. It's about us right here, right now.
Totally. It's like a mirror to our own relationship with technology.
And the questions we need to be asking ourselves.
This has been such a great deep dive.
I agree. Lots to ponder.
For sure. So as we wrap up, one last thought for everyone out there.
Ooh, I like it. Go ahead.
In this world where AI is becoming more and more powerful, what part of your humanity would you fight hardest to protect?
That is a fantastic question. Something to really think about as we move forward into this, unknown future.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds curious.